Welcome to Own Your Words. Absurd. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Absurd. Absurd. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you say that something is absurd, you are criticizing it because you think that it is ridiculous, or that it does not make sense. 2. Something absurd is really silly, absolutely ridiculous, or total nonsense. 3. Stupid, reasonable, or silly in a humorous way. Examples. 1. It is absurd for the council to cut taxes without proposing another way to raise money. 2. Musk's assertion that the Delaware court has turned unfriendly to business is absurd. 3. It seems quite absurd to expect anyone to drive for 3 hours just for a 20-minute meeting. 4. In any case, the idea of such a thing between me and the lieutenant is quite absurd. 5. It is absurd to be discussing compulsory redundancy policies for teachers. 6. I've known clients of mine go to absurd lengths just to avoid paying me a few pounds. 7. Neither is likely to relish any continuing role in this increasingly absurd drama. 8. I find it absurd that government can make a plant that grows in the ground illegal. 9. Already we live in a different world, and some people's energy choices increasingly look absurd. 10. Don't be absurd, Beatrice, I said hurriedly. It doesn't matter a bit. It's absolutely all right. 11. Absurd and protested. But to my surprise, she agreed with him. 12. Marjorie thought the game was absurd, but her mind went to abundant. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Abundant. Abundant. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. Something that is abundant is present in large quantities. 2. Abundant is something that exists in large amounts, that are more than what's needed. 3. Something that is abundant exists, or is available in large quantities, so that there is more than enough. Examples. 1. During the 18th century, land was cheap, grain was plentiful, and meat was abundant. 2. There is abundant wildlife, including the Big Five and a mountain pride of lions. 3. There is abundant evidence that cars have a harmful effect on the environment. 4. Can an animal species that appears to be abundant also be endangered? She questioned. 5. Meteorites are not abundant, and meteoritic samples not especially easy to get hold of. 6. In unsprayed orchards, the moths were not abundant enough to cause real trouble. 7. This could be done with the screwworm, which is actually not an abundant insect. 8. Of this preparation, a tolerably abundant plateful was apportioned to each pupil. 9. His farmland produced abundant maize and vegetables that fed the entire region. 10. The solution was, after all, really a physical one, producing Mr. Riley in the abundant flesh. 11. Their abundant correspondence salvaged events from the mists of improbable facts. 12. Harsh talk from one in whom the springs of tenderness gushed abundant, as I knew. Abysmal. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Abysmal. Abysmal. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you describe a situation or the condition of something as abysmal, you think that it is very bad or poor in quality. 2. If you want to say something is really, really bad, then call it abysmal. 3. Immeasurably low or wretched, extremely poor or bad. 4. Having immense or fathomless extension downward, backward, or inward. 5. Wretched to the point of despair, immeasurably bad. Examples. 1. Her mind was reeling with misconceptions and abysmal value judgments. 2. This experiment could help a lot of people, or it could be an abysmal failure. 3. Their record for forecasts is abysmal, and their record on economic management is worse. 4. In the early 90s, the state of the coffee bean was abysmal. 5. The standard of teaching was abysmal, and expectation for the pupils, 0. 6. We are demanding a full explanation for this abysmal administrative performance. 7. People across the country will be outraged at this reward for his abysmal failures. 8. I drive around today, gently despairing at some of the abysmal shapes that litter the roads. 9. But he abysmal experimentalist. He lacked Mendel's instinctive touch. 10. If it indeed marked the start of a true and deep financial panic, the timing was abysmal. 11. If my decisions reflected this abysmal reality, how could things ever get better? 12. NBC is also keeping 4 comedies on Thursday night, despite abysmal. Acclaimed. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Acclaimed. Acclaimed. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. Publicly praised by a lot of people. 2. Greatly praised or lauded, revered, highly respected. 3. Attracting public approval and praise. Examples. 1. Paul Simon's solo career has resulted in a string of highly acclaimed albums. 2. Shortly afterwards, his defeated opponent Ali reappeared, and was in turn acclaimed caliph. 3. He is the author of a widely acclaimed new study on the subject. 4. When the Germans at Valparaiso acclaimed him a naval hero, he shook his head. 5. On the death of Alaric, his followers acclaimed his brother-in-law Ataulfus as king. 6. Manuel swore to uphold the Constitution, and was acclaimed king by the Cortes. 7. The fugitive meanwhile arrived safely in Shoa, and was there acclaimed as Negus. 8. Acclaimed author and journalist Karl Greenfeld was on the spot when the disease was discovered. 9. Dr. Gillian McKeith is the internationally acclaimed clinical nutritionist. 10. The West Wing is one of the most critically acclaimed TV series in the USA. 11. She died before the critically acclaimed work was being adapted for the silver screen. 12. The new Metro has been universally acclaimed by the motoring press. Accommodating. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Accommodating. Accommodating. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you describe someone as accommodating, you like the fact that they are willing to do things in order to please you or help you. 2. Used to describe a person who is eager or willing to help other people, for example by changing his or her plans. 3. And willing to do what someone else wants. Examples. 1. She's so nice and accommodating, I'm afraid people will take advantage of her. 2. Neil couldn't imagine a more accommodating child, nor a more contented one. 3. Everyone would wonder who was the extra person she was accommodating. Or, she seems less accommodating to the demands of her boss than she used to be. 5. This perfectly reasonable and accommodating response does not sit well with Eliza. 6. Some people became unusually quiet and accommodating, not daring to rock the boat. 7. Maddox enjoys a celebration, and your grandfather is an accommodating host, Lena said. 8. But, if an interstellar armada appears in our skies, I predict we will be very accommodating. 9. The judge and the prosecutor were suddenly generous and accommodating. 10. The centaur clipped a small cylinder into the accommodating groove on Holly's helmet. 11. Very much a tease, sometimes accommodating his appetites, sometimes refusing. 12. Accommodating, since he's not blind to mother's faults. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Meanings and examples are available in video description.